welcome back. I'm doing it again, but I'm apologising for the long delay between videos. This summer I intended to do all sorts of videos, but I'm not going to go on and on about it. I basically spent all my time building my live room. It's been so hot this summer. Anyway, things kind of went out the window. But I've been building my live room, getting that ready because I've got some people interested in coming in and doing some recording. Really wanted to get on with that. So what this video is about today, I've had my good friend Rasmus Alm come up and play. He's a drummer that I play in a band with. He came up, we had a quick 10 minutes, set some mics up, set his drum kit up. I wanted to really not so much the close mics record, but I wanted to hear what my room sounded like. You know, you can kind of judge what a room's going to sound like, but until you get a drum kit in there and you bang away on it, you're never really going to know. So that's what we did. So I wanted to let you hear this. I'll put some pictures up of how the live room's looking. It's not finished. I've got some bits and pieces to do. I've got an inner door to build. I've got to sort out the ISO booth. I've had to wreck that because I put a window in there and, you know, bits and pieces. But I'm not going to bore you with that. So what I wanted to let you hear was what the room sounds like. I'm so proud of how it sounds because there's been so much planning gone into this. And what I'm going to do with my future room sounds in terms of getting a nice drum sound and using them to kick ass, basically. So what I'm going to do, where are we now? I'm going to play you how these sound. I've got two compressors on my rooms. One is an SK Note. Well, there's two different SK Notes, and the other one's Rio Comp. Now I'm going to compare between the two. Other than that, all I've got on here is gates, a de-esser on my snare drum to basically to tame the hi-hat a little bit. That's it. It's just gates, and then I've got a limiter on the kind of the drum bus. Okay, that's it. I haven't done anything else. There's no EQ, compression, nothing else on any of the rest of the drum kit. So I'll give you a quick blast of how the drum kit sounds now, and then we'll go through what I do on my rooms to make them crunch up a little bit and give us a bit of life to our drums, okay? Alright, I'm going to mute the rooms all together so you can hear what it's like without them. That's no rooms. Bring them back in. Just adds that extra degree of excitement. Now, just for a little bit of clarity, the Aston Origin here was my mono room mic. And basically what I did was I set it up in this stand and I just turned it down and it was pointing kind of directly at the top of the kick drum. Then just slightly above head height either side of the room, I had a pair of Audio-Technica 4033s, and they were just kind of pointing kind of in a little bit, but not that much, at the back wall at the kit, and just picking up the kind of the room ambience there. I'm going to experiment with some of this, but this was just a quick try just to see what my room sounds like. I just really wanted to know, so you know, I'm quite proud of it. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to solo out my mic. I'll solo out the mono room mic first, and let's have a listen to that with Rio Comp. I'll bring up the compressors. So we've got my favourite ones, 165A, the SK Note DBX clone. I've got it set on auto attack and release, which kind of makes it sound like a bit of a DBX 160. And then here I've got Rio Comp. Okay, so let's just play. In Rio Comp, I've got my attack faster than it would be if it was a snare drum, but slower than it would be if it was overheads. So somewhere in between. And my release is fairly quick, but not down as low as it can go. Okay. And I've got a ratio of 4:1. So if we just play with Rio Comp first, and then I'll do a kind of comparison between the two, and we'll switch between the two to see what they do. Now we bring the volume up. Nice and crunchy. Let's listen to it without Rio Comp. Big difference. Okay, so now what I'll do, I'll bring in Rio Comp again. Now as you can see, I'm getting between -6 and -10 dB gain reduction. So let's flick between the two now. So now 165. It's a more... Wait till it's finished. It's a crunchier sound. Let's go back to the Rio Comp. 165. Now as you can see, with the 165 I've set it up so that every kick and snare is making it go below. Okay, but the hi-hats, not every hi-hat is triggering it. It's not making it go below. If you watch it, you'll see what I mean. So you can see that for a couple of the hi-hats each time, it'll stay on the green there and it'll just get that little tick, and then the compressor will trigger. And that's kind of the whole point of what I love about this one, is that you got to set it so that it's not on. If it's on all the time, it's not doing the pumping thing and you don't get the quite crunchy. I'll display that. Let's just play that again, and I'll bring the threshold down so that it's pretty much in all the time, and you'll see what I mean, what the difference is. That's what we've got now. Do you see what I mean? When I brought the threshold down, it kind of lost the dynamic thing, and the crunch goes away. So yeah, you know, I love this compressor for that. So that's the mono room mic. I'll bring that down to where it was. Let's solo up the stereos. I'll switch off. Again, I got Rio Comp, but I'll switch it off. Let's bring the volume up on that a little bit. Now, my thinking with Rio Comp on this one is that my attack is slower. It's almost at the level where I would set it for a snare drum or a kick drum, but my release is slower than I would set for a snare drum or a kick drum, if you know what I mean. So the kind of, it holds a little bit longer. I'll play you just this with the Rio Comp in and out, and you'll see what I mean. So let's just have a listen. This is without it, and then I'll bring it in. Rio Comp in. I don't know if you can just hear the tail of the snare kind of lengthen, so I'll play it again without it, and then listen to the tail of the snare. In. So short release. It almost becomes like this little mid-range honky hit on the snare, whereas if I lengthen it out, you get a bit more of the actual snare length, if you like. So about between 30 and 40 milliseconds I kind of found worked. I hope you can hear what I mean with the YouTube thing, but hey. The other SK Note plugin that I used was this Disto. Now this is going to give me a little bit more grit because of the Hortitude feature that comes in the distressor, but we'll do a flick between the two. Or I'll tell you what, we'll have a listen to the Disto now, and then I'll do a flick between the two of them, and you can see what I mean. Now Disto more comes in once he starts hitting a bit harder, then you'll really hear the crunch coming in. You can hear that when he did the tom fill. So let's do a flick between the two. Rio Comp. A little bit tamer, but still does the job. Distal. And now without any of them. That's just how it sounds normally. Rio Comp. Distal. So I mean, you can achieve, you know, a bit of grip with either of these compressors. The distal for me just gives it a little bit more grip because but it's a character compressor. That's the whole point of it. It's meant to do that kind of shit. So same thing with the 165A. But there you go, guys. So this is how you can treat room mics just purely with compression to get a bit more dirt and grit coming out of them. Get some more life into your drums. If we give you a quick blast now of the drums, just the whole kit, I'll pull out the room bus and I'll slowly bring it in. You'll see what I mean. It actually creates a little bit of a reverb effect as well because of the length of the compressors. You know, they create a bit of length on the drum. So let's just have a listen to this. Pull these down to some kind of more normal levels. We'll play the whole drum kit and I'll slowly bring in the rooms bus and you'll see what I mean. Okay, there you go. I hope this was interesting for you. Glad to be back, and I hope to see you in your next one. Thanks, guys. See you later. Bye now.